Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going deep on Stoicism.
Ooh, Stoicism.
Yeah, and we're using Marcus Aurelius's Meditations as our guide.
Okay.
So think of it as like a cheat sheet.
I like that. The cheat
It's
sheet.
ancient wisdom, but for like
Mhm.
modern life,
Okay.
especially when it comes to dealing with,
Yeah.
the crazy stuff that happens.
Everyday life.
Yeah, stress setbacks,
Mm.
even the search for like a little more inner peace.
Yeah, it's so relevant for today.
Right.
It is. I mean, what's so cool about Meditations is that it wasn't like,
Yeah.
some self-help bestseller that he was trying to get out there.
Right.
It was his own private reflections.
Wow.
Written as Roman emperor. Like he
Yeah.
was wrestling with these huge responsibilities and constant challenges.
It's like we're
It's amazing.
peeking into the mind of like someone who had it all,
Yeah.
power, wealth, influence,
Yeah.
and yet still struggled with the same humey stuff we do.
Absolutely.
So what can we like actually learn
Right.
from this emperor philosopher?
That's the question, right? Yeah. Well, let's start with something I think we all face.
Okay.
Adversity.
What?
Whether it's, a frustrating commute.
Oh, tell me about it.
I know, right? Or a career curveball.
Yeah.
Or even like a personal betrayal.
Ooh, that's rough.
Stoicism offers a different way to approach these situations.
Okay, so I'm intrigued. How do the Stoics suggest
Right.
that we handle those moments when like things just don't go our way?
Yeah, well, one of the core principles that you'll find in Meditations
Okay.
is this idea of focusing on what you can control.
Okay.
And for Marcus Aurelius,
Yeah.
this was essential. I mean, think about it. He could control his own thoughts,
You're right.
actions, and reactions, but he couldn't control plagues, famines, enemy invasions.
That's a lot of stuff outside of your control.
Right. So much.
So instead of like getting caught up in all that chaos,
Yeah,
he chose to focus on his own inner world.
exactly. That's it.
Wow.
And he even compares the death of earth to water to air, and air to fire,
Okay.
illustrating this constant change and impermanence of like the material world.
So basically everything's always changing.
Everything's always changing. We can't hold on to it.
Whoa.
Right.
That's deep.
It's a powerful reminder
Yeah.
that so much of what we stress about is ultimately outside of our control.
It really puts things in perspective.
It does.
I can see how that would have been incredibly grounding for someone
Right.
in his position.
Totally.
But how could we like apply this principle
Okay.
to our own lives?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not exactly ruling empires here.
No, we're not. But it's about shifting our focus from what we can't control to what we can.
Right.
So instead of, dwelling on a frustrating situation at work, for example,
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
we all have, right?
Yeah.
You might ask yourself,
Okay.
what aspects of this situation are actually within my control? What can I do,
Yeah.
even if it's small, to improve things?
So it's about like taking ownership
Yes.
and finding those little pockets of agency. Even in like challenging circumstances.
Yes.
That's actually pretty empowering.
It is.
Right.
Because it moves you from a place of feeling helpless
Yeah.
to feeling capable.
I like that.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Stoics don't just tell us to, endure adversity.
Okay.
They see it as a chance for growth.
Wait, that seems kind of counterintuitive.
I know, right?
Yeah.
How can something negative be an opportunity?
Yeah. Think of it like this.
Okay, imagine a tree bending in the wind
Okay.
instead of resisting it.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Right. So that flexibility,
Okay.
that willingness to adapt,
Yeah.
that's what allows it to withstand the storm.
To weather the storm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Stoics believed that obstacles and setbacks,
Yeah.
they're not just bad things that happen to us,
Okay.
but chances to practice virtue
Okay.
and to become stronger.
To grow from it.
Yes.
Like I'm starting to see the connection.
Good.
It's about reframing adversity.
Right.
Seeing it as something that can actually like push us forward
Exactly.
instead of holding us back.
And in Meditations, Marcus Aurelius writes this: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
Whoa.
I know, it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
He's saying that the very obstacles we encounter
Okay.
can become the path to our goals.
It's like using it as fuel,
Yes.
but how do we actually put that into practice?
Yeah, that's the question.
It's easy to say,
Yeah,
but when you're in the middle of like a career setback, for example,
right.
it's hard to see it as anything other than just like a major bummer.
It is tough, but instead of focusing on the loss of the job,
Okay.
you might ask, what can I learn from this experience? What new skills can I develop? Are there other career paths I haven't considered?
So it's about using that setback
Right.
as fuel for growth.
Yes.
Rather than letting it, like, define you,
Exactly.
limit you.
Yes, and that leads us to another essential Stoic concept.
Okay, hit me with it.
For navigating the ups and downs of life,
Mm.
maintaining perspective.
Oh, that sounds especially relevant in today's world,
Right.
where it's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of, like, everyday anxieties.
How do we find that sense of perspective?
Yeah.
How do we? Well, one way is to remember the bigger picture.
Okay.
Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the vastness of time and the universe,
Right.
reminding himself that our worries and anxieties are often insignificant
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things.
There's a quote in Meditations where he talks about the shortness of life,
Okay.
the vastness of time, and the frailty of all things.
Sounds a bit morbid, to be honest.
He wasn't meant to be morbid.
Okay.
It was about shifting perspective.
Okay.
He wanted to remind himself
Yeah.
and us
Yeah.
that our problems, while real,
Right.
they're not the entirety of existence.
It's like zooming out from our immediate concerns.
Yes.
And seeing things from a wider lens.
Exactly.
Like-
It's like comparing our worries. Yeah.
To a single grain of sand on a vast beach.
Wow.
When we can step back and see things from that wider perspective,
Yeah.
we gain a sense of proportion.
Okay.
Our problems, while real,
Yeah.
don't feel quite so overwhelming.
That's such a powerful analogy.
It is.
I love that. But how do we actually do that?
Right.
Like, how do we shift our perspective when we're feeling bogged down by everyday stresses?
Yeah. One way is to cultivate gratitude.
Oh, gratitude.
Yes. It's easy to get caught up in what we lack,
Oh, yeah.
what we wish we had. But Stoicism encourages us to appreciate what we already have.
To be present.
To be present, exactly.
So instead of focusing on what's missing,
Right.
we shift our attention to what's present.
Yes.
Did Marcus Aurelius talk about this in Meditations?
He did. He mentions basic things like having good grandparents or the ability to help those in need.
Wow.
For him, it wasn't about material wealth,
Okay.
but about recognizing the simple joys and blessings in our lives.
He understood that true wealth lies in appreciating what we already have.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is.
So let me ask you this. What are some simple things you personally cultivate gratitude for in your own life?
It could be something as basic as a warm cup of coffee in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
a moment of laughter with a loved one,
Yeah.
or even just the feeling of sunshine on my skin.
Okay.
It's about noticing and appreciating those small moments
Yeah.
that make up our lives.
I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground exploring how Stoicism can help us
Right?
deal with adversity,
Mm-hmm.
maintain perspective,
Yeah.
even amidst the chaos of modern life.
It's amazing how relevant it is.
Right. But there's still so much more to uncover.
Oh, yeah, we've just scratched the surface.
So we'll be back soon to dive even deeper into the wisdom of meditations
Can't wait.
and discover how Stoicism can guide us on that path to inner peace.
Okay, sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into meditation.
I'm excited for more.
Yeah, we've talked about, handling those curveballs
Yeah.
life throws at us and how Stoicism can help us keep things in perspective.
Yeah, perspective is so key.
Right, even when things feel chaotic.
Totally. And now
Yeah.
we're getting to something I think everyone craves in this day and age,
Oh, yeah.
a bit of inner peace.
Inner peace.
Did Marcus Aurelius actually write about that?
He did.
It seems like he was dealing with a lot of external pressures.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't meditating in some tranquil garden.
Right.
He was leading armies, dealing with political rivals, even facing like a devastating plague.
Oh, wow.
But that's what makes meditation so powerful.
Yeah.
It's a testament to finding peace amidst the storm.
Amidst the storm. I love that.
Right.
Okay. I'm ready to learn from the Emperor's Playbook.
Okay.
Where do we start?
Well, one of the most fundamental Stoic principles is this: control your thoughts.
Okay. Control your thoughts.
It sounds simple,
Yeah.
maybe even obvious,
Yeah.
but Marcus Aurelius believed that the quality of our thoughts directly impacts the quality of our lives.
So it's not just about like positive thinking.
It's deeper than that.
It seems like the Stoics were more nuanced.
Way more nuanced. They weren't about denying difficult emotions.
Okay.
Or pretending that hardships don't exist.
Yeah. Reality is still there.
Reality is there. It was about recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond
Okay.
to those emotions and challenges.
I like that choice is a good word.
There's a line in Meditations
Okay.
where Marcus Aurelius says, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts.
So we have like this inner power
Yes,
to shape our own experience,
exactly.
even when things are tough.
Even when things are tough. And this connects back to that idea
Okay.
of focusing on what you can control.
Right.
We can't always control what happens to us,
Right.
but we can control how we react, how we interpret the situation,
Okay.
and ultimately how we let it affect us.
Okay, so if someone finds themselves spiraling into negativity,
Yeah.
what are some practical things they can do to shift their thinking?
Yeah.
Is it like a mental reset button?
Not exactly. It's more like training a muscle.
Training a muscle.
Yeah.
I like that.
The more we practice redirecting our thoughts,
Okay.
the stronger that mental muscle becomes.
So what are some ways to train that muscle?
Well, some simple techniques
Okay.
include focusing on a task you enjoy,
Okay.
listening to uplifting music, or spending time in nature.
Those are good ones.
It's about interrupting those negative thought patterns
Yeah.
and replacing them with something more constructive.
More constructive things.
Yes.
I love that analogy. It's not about ignoring the negative,
Right.
but about actively choosing to focus on something more positive or productive.
Exactly.
But what about those times when you can't just change the channel in your mind?
Yeah, that's real.
What about when something truly difficult happens?
Even then,
Okay.
Stoicism offers a powerful tool, living in the present moment.
Living in the present.
It doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future, but rather bringing your full attention to the now.
Okay, being present.
Being present, it's about accepting what is,
Accepting what is.
rather than getting caught up in, what ifs
Yeah.
and should have.
Of those coulda, woulda, shouldas.
Yes, and that's a key takeaway from meditations.
Okay.
Marcus Aurelius understood that so much of our suffering comes from dwelling on things we cannot change.
Things we can't change.
He advocated for accepting what is
Okay.
and focusing our energy on making the best of the present moment.
That makes sense when our minds are racing with regrets about the past
Yeah.
or anxieties about the future. We're missing out on the only moment we actually have control over,
Right.
the present.
The present.
This theme of acceptance seems to come up in a lot of different philosophies.
It does.
What makes the Stoic approach unique?
I think what sets Stoicism apart
Okay.
is its emphasis on reason and virtue.
Reason and virtue.
It's not just about feeling better.
Okay.
It's about aligning our thoughts and actions with a deeper understanding of the world
Okay.
and our place in it.
So it's not just about achieving inner peace for its own sake,
No.
but as part of a larger quest
Yes.
for living a good and meaningful life.
Exactly, for Stoics.
Yeah.
Reason was the key to understanding the world and our place in it,
Okay.
while virtue was the path to living a good and fulfilling life.
It's about aligning ourselves with those things.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was about aligning our thoughts, actions, and reactions with this understanding.
And when we do that,
Yeah.
we become more resilient,
More resilient.
more grounded,
More grounded.
and ultimately more at peace.
And ultimately more at peace.
It sounds so simple,
I know, right?
yet so difficult to put into practice.
It is a practice.
Do you think Marcus Aurelius himself struggled with this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, remember, Meditations
Mm-hmm.
wasn't written as like a polished guidebook or something. It was a personal journal
Oh, wow.
filled with his own struggles and attempts to live up to these Stoic ideals.
So it was a lifelong practice.
It was a lifelong practice,
even for the emperor philosopher himself.
even for him. And that's what's so encouraging about it.
Yeah.
It means that even if we don't achieve perfect Stoic serenity overnight,
Right.
we can keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement.
Always.
And that's part of the beauty of the journey.
That's the beauty of it.
I love that. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways for our listeners when it comes to finding inner peace?
Yeah, that's Stoic peace.
That's Stoic peace.
Firstly, remember that the quality of your thoughts directly impacts the quality of your life.
Okay, quality of thoughts equals quality of life.
Practice redirecting your thoughts from negativity to something more constructive.
Okay, redirect those thoughts.
And secondly,
Yeah,
try to live more fully in the present moment, accept what is,
accepting what is.
and let go of the what ifs and should haves.
Let go of those coulda, woulda, shouldas.
Exactly. And finally, remember that finding inner peace
Yeah.
isn't a destination but a journey, guided by reason, virtue, and a constant striving to align our actions with our values.
It's a practice.
It's a lifelong practice, and one that can lead to a more resilient, grounded, and fulfilling life.
I think we could all use a bit more of that.
I agree.
Are you ready for one final deep dive into the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius?
I am. Bring it on.
I know I am. There's still so much to unpack.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've explored how Stoicism can help us, face adversity,
Right.
keep things in perspective,
Yes.
and even find a bit of inner peace
That's right. Amidst all the chaos of modern life,
amidst all the chaos.
we've uncovered some pretty powerful ideas from meditations.
Yeah, some really good stuff.
But I think now's the time to get really practical.
Yeah, let's get practical.
How can we take these ancient principles and actually apply them to our daily lives?
Yeah, because let's face it, sometimes those Stoic ideas,
Yeah.
they can feel a bit abstract.
Yeah.
Like, okay, focus on what I can control,
Right.
but how do I actually do that? When, my inbox is exploding and my to-do list is a mile long.
Yeah, it's so easy to get overwhelmed.
It really is.
But it starts with recognizing that Stoicism isn't about becoming some emotionless robot
Okay.
or passively accepting, whatever life throws at you.
So it's not about suppressing our feelings.
No.
Or pretending that difficulties don't exist.
No, it's about understanding that you have a choice
Choice.
in how you respond to those feelings and difficulties.
Okay, so we have a choice.
Yes, and Marcus Aurelius
Yeah.
gives us some pretty specific practices
Oh, okay.
to help us do just that.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, so one thing Marcus Aurelius emphasized
Yeah.
was the importance of morning reflection.
Morning reflect.
Think of it as starting your day with intention.
Okay, with intention.
He would often write about mentally preparing himself for the day ahead,
Oh, wow.
reminding himself of his Stoic principles.
Okay, so instead of just hitting the snooze button
Right.
and scrolling through social media,
Ex-
we take a few moments to actually check in with ourselves.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process.
Okay.
Even a few minutes of mindful reflection
Yeah.
can make a big difference.
Okay, so what might this look like for someone today?
Okay.
Give us a real-world example.
It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths
Okay, deep breaths.
and reflecting on what you're grateful for.
Okay, gratitude.
Remind yourself of what you can and cannot control.
Right, that's huge.
And set an intention for how you want to approach the day.
So it's like giving yourself a little pep talk,
Yes.
but a pep talk grounded in wisdom and virtue.
Exactly. And it's not just about starting the day, right?
Okay.
But also about maintaining that focus throughout the day.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, Marcus Aurelius also talked a lot about the importance of being present
Being present.
in whatever task you're doing.
So whether it's work, spending time with loved ones,
Yes.
or even just washing the dishes,
Even washing the dishes.
we bring our full attention to that one thing.
Yes. He even compares it to an archer aiming at a target.
Oh, okay.
You have to focus all your energy on that one point,
Laser focus.
blocking out everything else.
Wow.
And in today's world,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
with all the distractions
Right.
vying for our attention,
It's so hard to focus.
that kind of focus is like a superpower.
It is a superpower.
Yeah.
It really is. And when we can train ourselves
Yes.
to
Yeah.
focus on one thing at a time, not only do we become more effective in what we do,
Yes.
but we also experience a greater sense of calm and clarity.
That's it. And that leads to another important Stoic practice.
Okay, what's that?
Taking time for reflection
Okay.
at the end of the day.
So kind of like a mental review.
Yes, a mental review of how we did.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius would often examine his actions and thoughts,
Okay.
asking himself, what did I do well?
Yeah.
What could I have done better? And what did I learn from my experiences?
So it's like identifying patterns in our behavior
Yes.
and making adjustments as needed instead of just repeating the same mistakes over and over.
That's it. It's about taking ownership of your choices.
Oh, ownership.
And using your experiences as opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
Which goes back to that key Stoic idea we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Seeing challenges as opportunities for growth.
I love that.
So if we were to sum up this Stoic approach to daily living,
Yeah.
what would it be?
What's the elevator pitch?
I think it's about cultivating a mindset of awareness, intention, and acceptance.
So awareness of our thoughts and emotions,
Yes.
intention in our actions,
Yes.
and acceptance of what we cannot control.
That's it.
And through this practice, we can begin to experience the inner peace and resilience
Yes.
that Stoicism offers.
Absolutely.
That's something I think we can all benefit from,
We can.
regardless of our circumstances or what's going on in the world around us.
It's timeless wisdom.
It really is. We've only scratched the surface of Stoicism in this deep dive,
We have.
but I hope it sparked your curiosity to explore further.
Me too. There's so much more to discover.
Meditations is a book you can return to again and again,
Absolutely.
always finding new insights and inspiration.
I agree with that.
So what will you take from it?
Mm,
What resonates with you most deeply?
that's the beauty of Stoicism.
Yeah.
It's a personal journey, a path you create for yourself, guided by reason, virtue,
Yeah.
and a desire to live a life of purpose and meaning.
That's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Stoicism.